Hey guys, welcome to Ecclesia number 13. Hope you have a good last 2 weeks. We will talk about some of the developments that we have been doing the last 2 weeks and then jump into apps. We will release a couple of apps today. We expect there will be continual improvement on the apps for the next couple of days, and then we will do a redeployment. So, this is right now to let the community look at the apps and have a feel of what they're all about and get some feedback from you guys. So there are some bugs, we're working through them, but we thought they are minor bugs so that we will release them and have you guys test it out. Let me first talk about the current development and where we are. In terms of the issues, I think as you saw on the weekly, we have closed a lot of PRs, closed a lot of issues, but we also created a lot of issues the last 2 weeks. So our net result is, the number of issues have kind of remained the same, even though, we have closed close to 30 issues for the last 2 weeks. So in light of that, we have set our mainnet to be sometime in May. That's pretty much the short our net of it. But in terms of apps release, we are gonna release apps on a regular fashion because they're almost there in terms of what the final product would be, and we want to get some feedback from you guys and then also test it. I think some of the things we are uncovering is when we do some testing, we uncover some issues in the back end, and that's when we have these fixes that we need to do on the back end. So that's why you see number of issues have grown, but I expect there will be significantly less issues once we get all the apps out there, because we're closing all the issues related to the apps, which is related to the backend. All right, so what I want to do is kind of discuss what we on the mainnet, what we want to do. So let's see. So let me do this. I will switch to the browser mode and I'll go to questions. I think we'll go through the questions first. So the first question is the dates. So with regards to that, what I want to do is kind of show you guys this chart. I think you should be able to see it. Yeah. Okay, so by the way, am I live? I hope I'm live. I don't know if you guys are there or not. You guys can say hi or something. So the if you look at the critical items, I don't know if you guys can see this. I can make this larger, maybe. To select. I'll make this larger font. Okay. So as you can see, the critical items are basically two of them. We closed three of them, which is a transaction fee, the configuration, which will be closed today, and then the blocks we have already merged and closed. So these two are basically the ones that are remaining that will be closed today. And then the long pole items, the critical items, are the two-phase commit and markers. This is syncing markers from the blobber to the blockchain. So that's expected to be end of the month. Same thing with MPT. We have made quite a bit of progress, as pointed out by Peter on the weekly, and we think that we can close that long pole item in April. So and then there are about 70 issues, which are straightforward issues. This just needs to be done, needs to be executed, and we have enough developers to execute them by April timeframe. So now then the question is, okay, when do we, how do we go about releasing the apps? And there are a bunch of things that we need to release and let the community test them out. So the timeline is, we're releasing the Atlus today, and as well as the Bolt. Actually, we will release it today, so you can test it out. But there will be some redeployment that will happen with Bolt. So there will be, if you see bugs today, don't worry about it. They are in the process of getting done by today, tomorrow. And then we plan to release Vault next week, and Blimp and Chimney as well. So in what order, we don't know yet, but it'll be released sometime next week. And then Chalk the week after. That's our current timeline. So by the end of the month, we want to release all the web apps. And in conjunction, we want to also release the mobile apps for Bolt and Vault. This is the iOS and Android. And then the desktop is only for the Mac and Windows, which we plan to release by the end of the month. Okay. We also plan to make public the hackathon sample apps so that you guys can take a look, and the code will be there as well, so you can try it out. So we could have a community hackathon just to test our workflow out. We have a workflow that's going to be on our website where people enter the hackathon, and then they register, and then they submit their work, and then they get rewarded. So, and they get highlighted. So so we'll do all of that in April. So there's a lot of work that's going to be done in April, and then based on what we determine with these critical items and some of the feedback, we expect the mainnet to be sometime in May. That's our timeline. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the questions. So the first question, I think I gave you guys the dates. What's your pessimistic date for mainnet release? Well, it could be June. We anticipate that we will release sometime in May, but if you look at the timelines, we will release all the apps. We will make sure there are no errors on our mainnet, on our blockchain, as we go through these apps, because once you guys start testing all these apps, I'm sure there will be somewhere something will happen, and we will fix it at the back end. So as these apps gets released and people test it, we will get a clear idea whether there are additional bugs that are out there that we haven't uncovered. And once those bugs are fixed, then we can go ahead and release the mainnet. So this month is kind of critical for us to determine when we can release the mainnet. We expect it to be in May, but it may, pessimistically, it may move to June. But there will be a lot of excitement based on these apps. We don't want to publicize or market the apps yet until we get feedback from the community that everything is good, and that's when we will start doing PR releases and influencer videos and things like that. So there'll be a lot more marketing coming our way, probably in May timeframe instead of April, because April will release the apps, and then in May we will have the PR press release on these apps, as well as influencer videos and marketing associated with it. All right, so the second question is, what are the most critical issues to be resolved? I think I addressed that. I think the the two-phase commit is close to be done, but I think it will still need a couple of weeks, because you have to write test code, we have to make sure all the corner cases are taken care of. So it's a process. In terms of the MPT fix, I think Peter outlined how we will fix it, and that's something that we have a clear idea on how to fix it. It's just a matter of time, because when we test it, it takes several days before we can uncover a bug. So it's just the nature of the bug is it takes a while for it to surface for us to fix it. So if we know what the bug is, we can fix it, but we don't know what the bug is. So we have to kind of force it to happen with our chaos testing. So we have this test process where we have a test net of 100 miners and 30 sharders, and we basically conduct chaos operation where we turn basically destructive operation where we turn the miners up, down, and then up again, and so forth. So it's a pretty destructive operation. We don't think that will happen during the mainnet, but we want to cover all corner cases to uncover a bug that's probably there. It's hidden, but you can't see it unless you test it destructively. And hopefully, once you guys test these apps, these errors may surface. So it's basically we need to uncover the bug in order to fix it. When will the active set be brought up? So that's something we will probably do at the end of the month. When we release all the apps, we'll bring up the active set. But it's not gonna tell us more about any bugs, because we will uncover most of them, or if all of them, prior to getting the active set up. The only difference between active set and our test environment is that it is in different servers across US, Europe. So it will be slightly different environment, slightly different network conditions. So we may have to fine-tune a couple of things to make sure the rewards are spread out equally. So those are little things that we need to do, but I don't anticipate that we will learn a lot more with the active set. Question 3, how many developers are working full-time? Well, there are, I would say around, let's see. I can go to GitHub. So Zero Chain. I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, guys can see this. So if I go to people, you will see members, there are 26, outside collaborators about 28, but some of them are part-time, some of them are not as active. So I would say around, we have probably 35 to 40 guys, and probably half of them are very active. In other words, they do more than full-time. They spend probably between 40 to 60 hours per week. So and they work pretty much every day. They may take one day off. So that's kind of what it is. Okay. All right. I think I answered both questions 3 and 4. The next thing they will focus on manual. Okay, so this question is about manual view change. In terms of what's the purpose, why should we add miners, sharders post-launch? The active set number is set. What will happen to the team spots after the view change? So this is a precaution where if, let's say, if one of the active set member decides to leave or is not performing the way the whole community wants, then we will basically remove them, and then we will add somebody. So that's the reason for it. We want to make sure we cover all grounds. And it could be, for whatever reason, an active set member may want to leave. So at that point, what we will do is basically we will remove him and add him. But that's generally not desirable. But these things happen, and we want to make sure that we have provision for such. Okay. Question number 6, is Circle now an integrated on/off ramp for all Züs apps? So we are waiting on this because we had this banking crisis, and Circle was using a third-party signature bank, which, as you guys know, has gone under. So Circle doesn't have that feature, and what we're doing right now is just having a wait and see approach, because there are a number of other companies that are gonna offer that API, and we feel that if we wait a little bit, we will probably get better options. An example is Stripe. They are offering, or were offering, on-off ramp, but suddenly got quiet because of the banking crisis. So we'll just have to wait and see how it unfolds. But for now, we're using the workflow where you convert your Ethereum into ZCN and vice versa. So you will have on-off ramp, but it's with the digital token. It's not with a credit card. All right, so question 7. There is no liquidity on any of the exchanges. Which exchange and how much liquidity is going to be provided for mainnet? We don't. So liquidity is something we don't wanna. It's not under the purview of Zero Chain. Zero Chain is an R&D company, and our function is to provide the app, the platform and the apps, and that's pretty much where what we're gonna do. We don't want to provide liquidity on any exchange. It's a function of there will be a price point where buyers and sellers decide where to trade, and as more buyers and sellers are on the exchange, you will see there will be a lot more liquidity. So I think it's a function of the number of buyers and sellers that are out there, and you can probably see our volume has gone up for the if you compare this year versus last year. It has gone up because of awareness and more people on taking an interest on ZCN. Okay, question 8. What strategy post-mainnet functioning will be implemented on listing to improve liquidity? So again, I think I have answered the question, so let's move on. Question 9. Can you elaborate why we cannot get the correct circulating supply on etherscan, CMC, or Coingecko? This is a vastly lower circulation that reality limits our exposure. So yes, that is true. We have no control over them. We can only influence what they what they write as the circulating supply. So it's really up to them to do it. They say they have their own algorithm. I think it's based on how much trading activity is going on between wallets. So if, for instance, some of the team wallet, we're not trading as much, or selling as much, or distributing as much, maybe that's one of the reasons. But that's something only they can do. It's their centralized system, so we can't really control it. We could only ask, and we have asked a number of times. And I think I would say this shouldn't be a problem once we go mainnet and live. I think that this problem will kind of go away, because once more people come in, there will be a lot more interest and a lot more requirement for correcting the information on these sites. So they will get feedback from communities such as yourself. I think you guys can contact them directly and say, why is the circulating supply when this is incorrect? So I think the more people talk to them, instead of just us, I think they will start correcting it. This is, by the way, this is not just us. This happened for Filecoin. This happened for Polygon. They had to correct the supply after there were several reports that their supply is wrong. All right, the next question is, what's the current thinking on building awareness as mainnet approaches and launches? We have heard talk of marketing, SM campaigns, partnerships with YouTubers, hackathons, and press releases at different points. So some clarity would be helpful. Yeah, I mean, the current thinking is that we will release all the apps within our community. That's our close community. That is you guys on the Telegram channel and on Twitter. I think most of the guys on Telegram channel are a lot more closely following what we're doing. So only the close followers will probably test out all the apps, and we can have a good a good discussion on Discord. I think once those are up and running, then we will start marketing them, because if there are bugs, we don't want to market products that have bugs. So we want to make sure all the bugs are addressed first by the community, by the close community, and then we'll start marketing. We'll start the marketing campaign. And in particular, basically, it'll be YouTubers, influencers, and we want them to have their own opinion. We don't want to tell them what to say. We want to have the YouTubers have their own opinion about the apps, have them test out the app. So we are asking them that they are, basically be open about what they want to talk about regarding the app. Same thing with hackathons. This is something that we have partnerships with several hackathon groups, and we will start doing it after, ideally after mainnet, but definitely after all the apps are released, so that we know that all of these work. They can see it happening, and then they get excited to build their app on Züs. So I think this is something that we will do in May. Same thing with the press release. Same thing with marketing to marketing in the media. I don't foresee us doing a lot of ads, because we have also referral program within the app, which will get organic growth. So we will do a lot of things, but probably not direct advertising. We might do direct advertising later on if all our current organic methodologies do not work, because we have a number of things that we are gonna do in terms of marketing the apps, marketing Züs after we release all these apps. We have seen, so next question, we have seen the team struggle to hit timelines for development milestones, releases, and product development. What message do you have for the community to give confidence for the final products will live up to expectations? Well, we're releasing a couple of apps today. And this, the struggle we're having is on the back end. There are things that you see on the front end that shouldn't happen, but happens because there's a problem with the back end, and we need to fix it. So, as I said, 2 weeks ago, we were at, I think, 65 or 70 issues. We haven't moved from that the last 2 weeks, but we have closed about 30 PRs. So there were additional 30 issues that we uncovered once we, tested with the apps. So it's just the fact that, the bugs, there are bugs, and there are changes, like the 3 PRs that we are merging. So why does it take time? There's, developers will say we'll do it today, but it takes at least 3 or 4 days more. Sometimes it's just the complexity of it. Second is the time difference. So one developer finishes one task and then leaves it for the other guy to pick it up and move along, so that we have a kind of a 24-hour development cycle. But even then, it's not easy to coordinate stuff. And so coordination is a problem, because we're a global workforce. We're not all in one place, where things may go a little more efficient. If every developer is in one place, the communication is better and things may go a little bit faster. But we are a global team, and that's the way it is. Sometimes developer expectations are different, and generally, we don't hit those milestones because of because of the complexity and because of communication gaps and differences in the time zone. But we're releasing the app. You can test it out, and you can see the result and the final product and judge for yourself. I think what we are providing is a quality product. Obviously, even a quality product has some bugs, so it's not going to be totally bug free, and we are cognizant of that. And that's why we're releasing it to the community to uncover any more bugs that we might on the front end or the back end, and then we will fix it, and that should give us a high level of confidence when we go to mainnet. Last question was the biggest areas the community can help with as we approach mainnet and the early days post-launch. So I think it's basically spreading the word. I think the apps, once the apps are released, it's a lot more UI friendly for people to talk to to your friends and family about our apps and have them try it out. It's more awareness. I think people wants to see our apps, they will get pretty excited about our platform, what it can do, what the other platform cannot do. And what we have tried to do with this ecosystem apps is make it so easy that anyone can do it. Any of these apps are essentially designed for a non-tech person to participate on our platform in whatever way. It could be consumption of storage or staking or providing storage, whatever they would, or using it for NFTs. So all of these apps were designed for that. All right, so let's okay, so we're back. Let's see if there are any more questions from the chat. Can you take the blue square on your screen? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know if I had a blue square. Oh, that's weird. Okay. All right, so let's. So what we'll do now is basically go through the apps that we're releasing today. So let me switch to Chrome. I don't know why the blue stuff is there, to be honest with you. It's that is weird. Never, or maybe it's Let me try. Okay, is that better? Okay, I think that did it. Okay, good. All right. That is weird. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so this is Atlus. And well, looks like they're okay. I think it's they're probably redeploying it, or something is broken, because this shouldn't happen. The zero shouldn't come up, but it's happening for some reason. That is interesting. Okay, so but you can go to demo.atlus.cloud, and you should be able to see well, for whatever reason it's coming zero, but maybe they're redeploying the network. But as you can see, you have the price coming from Coingecko, or actually I think this is from Bancor. So this is the Bancor API. And then we have the top blobbers. You can go to any of these blobbers and you can see how much storage it has, and how much it has been staked, the transactions. Now you will see some error transactions. These are, as I mentioned, that they are working on in the back end. So you will see some of these error transactions, which the error transactions, if you look at the details, you'll see that the read marker is a problem. It can get related commit blubber, can get related read pull value not present. This is something that's going to be fixed in a PR sometime this week. So you will see, some of these errors will basically get corrected in the course of time. Let's see, if you go to service providers, you will see that these are the hosts. And this is a Chimney host. This is using our Chimney app, and that this particular provider has joined the network. Some of the other ones, like demo ones, have been installed during the network. So these are like network deployed, and this is one that basically joined the network after it was deployed. You can see the right price, which are all in ZCN. The rewards, again, you will see the rewards a little bit less on the blobber and more on the miners and sharders, but that's going to change because we haven't merged the config, the latest configurations on the network. And as I mentioned, the network will get redeployed, so all of these numbers will change. You can see the health state, which is basically every provider sends a health transaction to make sure that they're working. Otherwise, we won't list them here, or actually we will list them here, but we won't select them when we're selecting for an allocation. You can see the number of challenges passed, the quality score, meaning number of failures versus passed. As you can see, some of them are pretty low. Again, these are fixes that we're doing, and you can see some of the errors that are happening on the transaction itself. Again, these are known bugs, and people are working on it. Okay, sharders, you can see the staked ZCN, you can see the rewards. As you can see, they're pretty closed in terms of what the rewards they're receiving, which is what it should be, unless there's something wrong. In terms of finalized round, as you can see, they're very close. They're within basically one block. This is the last finalized round. And if you go to miners, you will see the blocks. Well, actually, this needs to be corrected. For some reason, it's not corrected. It should be the number of blocks generated by the miner. I think for whatever reason, let me do something. I think the incognito. Let me try this. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Oh, well. Yeah, something, I think, there we go. Okay, sharders. Okay, miners. Yeah, looks like, okay, so these are the blocks finalized. Okay, I think I've got the, for some reason, I think I had to clear out the cache to get the, latest changes. So as you can see, this is the blocks finalized by each miner, and that's why their rewards, I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, you can see this. Okay, good. Okay, so this is the, yeah, so this is the blocks finalized, meaning these miners have generated these blocks, 284, 800, right? And that's how they're getting paid, because they're getting this reward. And that's why they're fairly close, as you can see, in terms of rewards, they're close to what they should get. There may be some discrepancies here and there, but that's something, again, it's there are changes in the backend that may have there are discrepancies here, which would be related to how many blocks you finalize. So we'll need to check on them and make sure that they are correct. On the shorters, as you can see, this is the latest finalized round, which is higher in number than the miners, okay? Because this is the last round, basically. And you can see it on the blockchain. Like if you go to the blockchain, you will see that, for instance, this is a challenge transaction, right? And if you go to the blocks, you will see that what's the latest block. The latest block is 855,000, right? And so that's what you saw on the sharders, because that's the latest finalized block. And you can see these are sequential, as they should be, because it's a blockchain, right? And the number of transactions, and if you go to each of these blocks, you will see the transactions. Now you can see, the download, there are errors. These are download markers coming from blobbers. And there are errors for these, and this is, again, work in progress that's need to be fixed. You can look up the details. You can see what the error is. It's basically can get a related read pool, and that's a bug that's already a known bug, and we're fixing it. All right, so you can enter in the search, you can enter, let's say, block 100, and you can look at the block details of the block 100, or let's say 105. And this is block 105. You can see pay fees, challenge, transaction, 2 transactions, right? So yeah, so these are the transactions, the latest transactions. As you can see, this is a challenge transaction, which is successful. This open challenge just generated, so it generated a challenge, which is a successful transaction. So that's on the blockchain side of things. You have transactions and you have blocks, right? Now, what I want to show is, okay, the server map is basically the same thing that on the home page, but shows the distribution of the blobbers on by region and also across the globe. Hopefully this will get all filled out when we go to mainnet. This is the total storage capacity. Okay, here it's showing the capacity. For some reason on the home page it's not showing, so something is not right for the front end. So the data is coming in. So network utilization 1%, which means only 1% of the available capacity is used. And this is the network quality score as aggregate. So how many challenges are passed and failed, right? And this is the same data that was presented in the on the home page as well as in the service providers. Now, if you go to charts, you will see charts that are, for some reason, it's not refreshing. Well, I don't know why, but for some reason the market charts are all not coming in. Well, this was all working. Okay, well, let's see if I go to the window at Atlus Service Providers. Let me see if it's, yeah, some reason there's some issue with the charts. I don't know, something got broken because they merged something. So that's the way it is, sometimes these happen. So they merge last minute and things don't work out. So, but they should get all fixed because they're merging a lot of code today, and for whatever reason something got broken because the data is the backend is all it was all working, so front end probably got probably not working. Okay, so let's go to Bolt. So the Bolt, so this is the Bolt, it's demo.bolt.holdings. You can go to that site and you will see, this is the home page. We talk about the steps to to basically stake on a blobber, and you can transact with split key. Now the split key is a technology that's only available right now. We're still working on Bluetooth, but right now it's only available once the apps, the mobile apps, are working. So right now we don't have it for the web app, so you won't see it, you won't be able to use it. But once we have Bluetooth implemented, then you would be able to use it from the web app as well with your phone. So when you log in, so let's see, I think you can create an account. So let's say create an account. I think 3, and I think I have 666. Let me see what the number is. Hang on one second. Okay, yeah. Let me try this. Create account. It's already exists, so I already have an account. Okay, log in. Great, I think it needs to be refreshed. Yeah, for some reason there's the OTP that happens if you don't refresh. I don't know why. This is something that needs to be fixed. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me check. Yeah, you can see this. Okay. Okay, loading, select wallet. So this is my wallet. Select, recover from cloud, enter passphrase. 8, recover from cloud. Now you can recover. So, all right, so let's see. The image is stuck. We cannot see what you now. It's good. It's frozen again. Oh, well, I'm on a high-speed network, so I don't know what to say. Hopefully it's not stuck. No, I think, okay, yeah. I don't know if it's stuck or let me do something. Maybe it's too many things open. Let me try closing stuff. Okay, hopefully it's better now. I don't know if you guys can. Okay. Well, hopefully it's good. But anyways, I mean, you can see the Bolt. You can see that I'm staking transactions. So what I would do is go to settings, go to wallet, and get tokens from the faucet. Okay. And if you can go to the wallet page, you will see that you have received a token. You can also see the recent transactions. You can see on recent activity. You can click here, or you can go to view details. In the view details, you will see I've received from the faucet, and you can also view it on Explorer, the transaction, the faucet transaction. And then you can also click on this and it will go to the Explorer. And now you can, you can also go to the activity page where you will see you received from faucet 1 ZCN, and you can then stake. This is something that you can, for some reason my staking chart is not appearing, like this is claimable stake. So if I claim rewards. I wonder if it's because if I claim the reward, it will, so it says successfully claimed, and maybe it will appear, I don't know. There's something going on with the data. The data is coming in, but it's not showing up on the UI. But that's something that's there. It's a known problem. They're fixing it. So as you can see, I have claimed reward. And if you look at my wallet, you will see that I have it goes to the available balance because I've claimed it. But it's still 1 ZCN is staked. So, but in general, we won't get this much of rewards. It's because the blockchain is moving fast, and that's why you have a lot of blocks created, and that's why you're getting a lot of rewards. But as I mentioned that, we will redeploy the network with the new configuration, and you will see a correct amount of rewards. Right now, it's just too much. So again, all these transactions like claim reward, you can see the transaction details, like the value of it, and you can see the details of the transaction, right? So you should play around with this. You can see even if you look at the transaction details. So for instance, this wallet, you can go to this address, which is the address. Actually, it's not this. It's this one here. This is the wallet address. You can see the rewards, right? You can see how much you staked, how much balance, and then the transactions and allocations, right? So actually, the transaction should show up here. I don't know why it's not coming, but this is the again, the staked rewards should appear here. For some reason on my chart it's not happening. It is happening on other people's chart, so I don't know, there's probably a bug somewhere that we haven't uncovered on the front end. Okay, so you can stake. So add stake to, let's say I want to stake to a miner, right? I go to miner, I select a miner. You can see the stake that's already on the miner. So let's say I select a demo. Oh, for some reason, okay, demo, I select demo, and then I can see how much is currently staked on this provider, and then I can stake, let's say 2 ZCN, and it says current stake, total stake will be 102 ZCN, confirm. It says you have submitted stake for 2 ZCN. You can also view it on the Explorer, or you can go back to the page. You can see that the current stakes are, I've staked 1 ZCN on one miner and the other one on another miner. So you have demo 1 and demo 2. And you can see that on wallet activity as well, the stake transactions. So you can go to Atlus, you can see how much we have staked, 2 ZCN. If you go to your address, you should be able to see, for some reason the transactions are not appearing, but you can see the staked balance, you can see the wallet balance, and you can see the rewards. Okay, so that's there are other activities like the buy ZCN. So buy ZCN credit card is coming soon. The ERC tokens, it's something that you can play around with. You connect to MetaMask. The MetaMask it comes up, and let's see if I do ZCN next. You can put in your email, and then next it'll process, it will come up, your MetaMask will come up, and then you can process the transaction and confirm. This will take a few minutes. This is basically swapping ETH to ZCN. So we have some ETH. We're using Goerli network, which unfortunately has been deprecated. And so we're gonna have to just move over to Polygon to get it working. But for now, we're still using Goerli. So confirm, increase in allowance, and then the process is burn and mint. So you burn on Ethereum, and then you mint on our native chain. So now the burn, okay, as you can see, the estimate gas is high. So unfortunately, I have to reject this because I don't have enough Ethereum on Goerli network, and this is the problem with Goerli network. It's a bit unstable, and they're asking, the fees are enormous because it's not working very well, and they're deprecating this network. So unfortunately, I have to reject it, and then you can try it again, but sometimes it works. So you can see we have a process where even if you're in the middle of a transaction and something happens, we can still get you back to that transaction and finish it. Of course, right now it's still the network is unstable, so we cannot do it. But buy is there, and then sell is there as well. You sell, I think maximum we can do that. Let's try that again. And this is email. You can skip it. Next, see if the sell transaction comes up. So it's coming up. Let's see if it goes through, depending on the fees again. So we are burning it on, so here it's a reverse process. You're selling ZCNs, you're selling the native ZCN, which is being burned and then minted on Ethereum contract. So now you see, now we have minted on Ethereum, so that's great, right? It's successful. So your mainnet swapped ZCN and it swapped to Ethereum. And you can view it on the Explorer, and you can see this is a burned transaction, and you can see how much value is burned, 11 ZCN. So yeah. And if you had put in your email address, you would get a receipt of that transaction. All right, so that's okay. So there you go, the two apps. We have released them. There are some bugs there, which hopefully will clear them today, tomorrow. I think there's some redeployment going on, so you may have to, if you wait for a couple of days, it'll be better, but you can go ahead and use it. But then you would need to refresh your, or basically delete your cache on the browser in order to get the new build. We have, please go ahead and try these apps in the next couple of days and give us your feedback. We hope you enjoy Atlus and Bolt. I think these are, we made the apps very easy to use and fun to use. So hopefully you guys will have lots of fun, and please give us your feedback. And then we will start releasing the other apps in the following week. Thank you again for watching us. I know there are some network issues that I had. I apologize for that, but I actually have a pretty good network, so I don't know what the problem was. But it does say that there were 40% dropped frames, so there was probably a network issue, which I'm not sure why, but I'll get to the bottom of it. And hopefully we'll have a better demo next time around. So we'll probably release something next week. We don't know yet if it is next week or the following week during the next AMA. Till then, have a great weekend and great week, and hopefully you guys can give us some positive feedback on our apps and get excited about what we're doing.